This is a story of Javier Hernandez. He doesn't know it yet, but he's going to become the greatest football player on the planet one day. This is Javier's father, Jose Hernandez. He was a low-level street thug who used to work under Pablo Escobar many years ago. In 1993, when Pablo eventually got a bullet to the brain, or a few, Jose was only 20 years old, with his whole life ahead of him. See, Jose never wanted to become a drug dealer. His dream was always to become a footballer. That was what he was good at, what he could do, what he had a passion for. But life had different plans for him. When Jose was only 17, he was on his way to sign his first professional contract with Atlético Nacional, which was the best team in the city. They were heavily backed by that Pablo guy from earlier. But a year before he was about to sign that first contract, he received some terrible news. When he was out with his twin sister, Adriana, his parents got caught in a crossfire with stray bullets and got killed over something stupid. See, now Jose found himself an orphan, and he was caught in a situation where he had to help out with his little sister. When he was going to turn 18, he would receive some money from his first professional contract. However, a year was a long time, and Jose couldn't wait that long. He needed some quick money, now. He had to be there for his sister. It was his duty. So he gave up on his football dreams and had to find another way to take care of his family. This is when the unofficial club owner, Pablo, heard about the situation of one of his young promising talents. So he came to him with help. The knight in shining armor, the hood hero. He offered Jose the chance to become a drug runner for him, so he can have the money needed to take care of his sister until it was time to sign his professional contract in a year's time. But you see, this was 1990 in Colombia. Football over there, back then, wasn't like today. The players weren't making hundreds of thousands. It was just an average salary. So when Jose eventually turned 18 and it was time to sign his contract, he declined. He was making so much working for Escobar that he didn't want to lose that. Taking the contract would have been a downgrade. So he refused it and became a full-time gangster. Jose had only been a gangster, full-time gangster, for 2 years when Pablo died. At that point, he was lost. He didn't know what to do anymore. So he took the stash that he built over the years and then he sent his sister to college so she could have a life. That took most of his money though. He realized he had no more options. He became a mechanic and lived on his own. After 13 years, he now had a son. He named him Javier. When Javier was only 3 years old, Jose could tell that he had that football gene in him. He was something special. By the age of 5, he was playing with the under-8 age group and was still the best player on the team. Football was Javier's whole life. This meant that he dropped out of school age 12, and that next year, it was just him, football, and Jose of course. The next year, they spent a lot of time on the road trying to find opportunities to get him trialled in Europe. He trialled for a year, all over Europe, and was more than good enough to get into many clubs. But see, Jose and Javier alike had what you would call a stinking attitude. It was a problem. I mean, an ex-gangster and a high school dropout, what did you expect? So this meant that they struggled to finalize any deals, especially with him being so young. So after a year of trialing and trying, Jose took him back home to Medellin. That next year, Javier found himself with a lot of free time since he wasn't going to school anymore. Aged 13, Javier stepped into a bar on his own for the first time. When he walked into that bar, it was one of the best feelings he ever had. 3 weeks straight, after training of course, he went back to the bar and done it all over again. Javier would bring life to the parties. He would dance like no one else, drink like no one else. He had elite stamina, which meant he could dance for hours straight and never get tired. To add to that, no matter how much he drank, he never got hungover, not once. The locals realised this. They realised he was the life of the party. It's like he was made for parties, like he was the party itself. That's when he got the nickname El Fiesta. When he turned 17, he went on more trials in Europe, this time with an agent to help with the strong personalities that they both had. By the time he turned 18, he signed a deal with Deportivo. However, it was their reserve team. It only took 3 games for them to realise that he was something special. He was quickly promoted into the first team to help out. That first season, Javier won Player of the Season, and it was clear that even if his team weren't having Division 1 football that next season, El Fiesta definitely was. As much as Javier wanted to stay in Spain, a great offer came from the Serie A with AS Roma, and El Fiesta ended up signing for them. This season, he has already put up great numbers and has helped his team qualify for the round of 16 in the Europa Conference League. This is the origin story of Javier Hernandez.